So a few months ago, Hiboy sent me an electric fat bike to test out. And while I've been doing extensive testing on this bike to test its durability, battery life, and value, not to mention doing stuff on it that it really wasn't designed to do, what I've really been excited about is using this bike where it excels compared to a normal bike, and that's the snow. So luckily enough, it's been extra cold and a rainy winter here in Southern California, and there has been a lot of snow by San Diego standards. So I've been able to take the P6 out to Mount Laguna and check out how it handles the snow and cold weather. But before we discuss how the bike handled the snow, let's go over a quick overview of the P6. So it comes with a Bafang rear hub 750 watt motor that puts out 80 Newton meters of torque, a 624 watt lithium ion battery, 4-inch wide fat tires, a 9-speed Shimano drivetrain, 120mm fork, and weighs in about 65 pounds. So I was able to take the Hiboy multiple times to the snow, and every time was an absolute hoot. I originally was worried that the hefty weight of the P6 would mean that the bike would just sink into the snow instead of gliding across it. And while much slower speeds this is true, once you get past about 5 or 6 miles per hour, the bike tends to just skim across the snow. I found that the technique that worked for me was to use the throttle when I first started pedaling to assist me to getting up to speed. And once I got moving at a decent pace, I would then let go of the throttle and use the regular pedal assistance. Before this, I had never ridden a fat bike in the snow, so in my head, I figured that the fat bikes just plow right through the snow with little to no effort. But man, oh man, was I wrong. So snow biking is very challenging, and your riding experience, handling, and difficulty of the ride really depends on the snow. When riding through 8-inch powder, it made the bike extremely difficult to pedal uphill, but the bikes would also slide everywhere and get super squirrely. But if you ride in snow that has a chance to harden, the bike carries a ton of speed, but you also sometimes run into patches of ice, which always is an adventure. Also, it's a heck of a workout. I couldn't believe how exhausted I was after 5 or 6 miles riding in the snow. But even through the exhaustion, I never stopped smiling. And throughout all my riding, the bike performed great. There was a lot more battery drain than when I'm usually riding around town in sunny conditions. Now how much of that is based on the cold weather? Honestly, I'm not really too sure, since I've never ridden the test loop in dry conditions with this bike. But based on all my snow rides, I've approximated the P6 would get roughly about 20 to 25 miles out of each charge, with about 2,500 feet of elevation gain. And I think that this is pretty good, especially considering that I was using the middle assist level and the throttle most of the time. So do I think you should get a fat bike if you live somewhere that snows? Abso-freaking-lutely. And if you do, should you consider electric fat bike? Yeah, I think it's worth the money. The ability to be able to ride farther and having all the extra grunt is worth it. Also, to get a regular bare bones fat bike usually runs between $400 and $800 depending on the brand. So to get a similar spec electric fat bike can usually be had for about $1,000 to $1,500. For example, the Hiboy that I rode retails for $1,400, but it's really not that hard to find on sale for hundreds less. But regardless of which bike you choose, you have to make snow biking part of your riding regimen. Not only is it a great workout, it's a blast, and it's a guarantee it's going to make you feel like a kid again, grinning ear to ear.
Oh,